Hey guys, breaking news and what is going on with the UnitedHealthcare CEO's suspect. This is breaking news. A man is being questioned in the CEO shooting in Pennsylvania. Two law enforcement officials have confirmed. You guys, this is really bad news. Low key, I was hoping he was going to get away with it. Now, for all of you guys wondering, well, maybe it's not the right person. No. From a tip, who gave the tip? The police stopped someone who was traveling by bus in Pennsylvania and recovered a suppressor, that's what you put, silencer, and a number of false IDs, law enforcement officials tell CNN. They're now in custody and are being questioned in connection with the shooting and deletion of the UnitedHealthcare CEO. Now, first of all, Mayor Eric Adams is a liar. You said he was in the New York area. You said you guys were closing in. You guys were not closing in. As a matter of fact, PA stepped in. Second of all, it's not looking good. This person was found with a silencer and a bunch of fake IDs. Now, let me just say this. And it happened in Pennsylvania. So it could just be a random person because a silencer and a bunch of random IDs, it happens in Pennsylvania. So it's still uncertain whether the man is, but as you guys know, he used a silencer when he deleted the UnitedHealthcare CEO. They have him in custody right now, right? Now, when they came out, they gave different photos of him to give a better photo of his face. They said authorities are questioning a man in central Pennsylvania in connection to the slaying of UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson. The man in Altoona drew the attention of investigators in part because he was found with a gun similar to the one used in last Wednesday's deadly shooting. Two sources familiar with the matter told NBC News. Again, this is Pennsylvania. You can carry. People have guns and silencers. The fake IDs are a little bit of, but is it a fake ID that he used to check into the hostel? And if he's being questioned, then why don't you just say we have the suspect in custody? Again, maybe this guy's adjacent to the suspect. The person being questioned was at a McDonald's where customers thought he looked suspicious and called police. 3 law enforcement sources said. He was found to have a fake New Jersey ID, a gun similar to the one used to kill the CEO, and a silencer. Okay. The slaying sent shockwaves throughout the corporate and healthcare worlds, raising questions about appropriate security for top-level executives. The shooting... Okay, pause. I'm sorry. I just have to address this because I'm reading it real time. This raised questions about the appropriate security for top-level executives. Did it not raise questions about the way if you are a executive of something that plays with people's lives, you cannot treat it like a Burger King where you start maximizing profits. One of the reasons people are speculating it happened, again, when they actually catch, and when I say when, I mean if, they actually catch the suspect, we will know more. But a lot of people are speculating that healthcare should be privatized to a certain, it should be made public to a certain extent. If you want to buy in and pay more for a private system, fine. But someone should not be able to treat people's lives like it's like up pricing or down pricing or surge pricing a Happy Meal or an Uber ride. Do you see what I'm saying? This guy was paid these big bucks because he started using AI to find a clever way to deny 31% more of sick patient claims than their competitor. They were the worst at paying claims by far. Side note, if you're looking for health insurance, see who's the best at paying claims, not who's the cheapest, if you can afford it. And through all this takeaway, America saying we're fed up, you're brutalizing us, you're sucking us dry, you guys are vampires. Through all this discourse, the one thing you said is, you know what? We're not going to change a thing. We need more security for the CEOs, which means we need more money, which means raise the premiums and keep paying sick people less. That's wild. That's the only takeaway. Again, the shooting has exposed a deep, ugly resentment against private healthcare companies as social media feeds are flooded with posts celebrating or just justifying the slaying. Again, This is why things like healthcare, things like education, in my opinion, and I know if you have more money, go buy better. But things that literally deal with life and death, things that deal with having advantages or not advantages, things that deal with the public at large. If your neighbor is suffering from this, it affects everybody. It should actually be legislated. I'm not saying we go to socialism, but I think it's time we literally have healthcare for all, at least a base level of healthcare. I'm just saying, because the CEOs are making these billions and it's coming from somewhere. But you guys, regardless, we are keeping up to the minute on this. More is coming on. You know, they released the pictures of the man they say is him. People were at McDonald's eating. Listen, at the end of the day, as a matter of fact, people have been asking overseas, oh my God, why is this happening? A lot of people are acting like they don't understand why this is happening. I have some TikToks right here. Listen to these TikToks and let me know what you think in the comments, all right? It is breaking news. I'll let you know more. But at the end of the day, people are tired. People are fed up. And the fact that the only thing they can get out of this is we need to hire more security. Y'all, it is literally about to be, let them eat cake time. It is a time that things will be toppled. They are squeezing most of us to the exact penny, and enough is enough. Listen, it's the first of many, and at the end of the day, you can hire all the private security you want. At the end of the day, your policies are what potentially is what caused this. But we're going to have to wait to see even if they have a suspect, because like I said, okay, but it's Pennsylvania, gun silencer. There are people with AK-47s in Pennsylvania. Anyway, listen to these TikToks. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.
Someone just lost a child, a husband, a father, and all I'm seeing on social media is just people being happy about it. I'm so confused. And on top of that, they're now wanting to create a GoFundMe for the person who committed the crime. They are cheering him on, and some people are even creating target lists of other people who may be next. What is going on? Can someone please explain this to me? When did we stop being human? What did Brian Thompson do that people are happy that he's now dead? What did Brian Thompson do that people on social media are willing or wanting to protect the shooter? Am I crazy that I don't understand?
It does not surprise me, country club mom, that someone wearing a literal $1 million worth of jewelry doesn't understand the cry of the huddled, unwashed masses. If the inability to read a room was a fucking person, you're not crazy. You're just thoroughly divorced from the realities of Americans, possibly humans. What did Brian Thompson do? He leads the company that far and away denies the most healthcare claims in America. A third of all claims his company denies. They deny so much it pulls up the industry fucking average. UnitedHealthcare and by extension Brian Thompson have caused deaths to their customers by denying claims for their insurance that they paid them for. Cruella, she said, let them eat cake.
Whoa! So UnitedHealthcare posted a tribute to their murdered CEO and 62,000 people laughed at the tribute. I can explain why this happened. I can explain why that CEO was murdered in the first place. And while I'm at it, in this video, I'm also going to be explaining school shootings in America, depression rates, obesity rates, people believing in conspiracy theories, because there is a theme that runs through all of these things that connects them all, and it isn't being talked about nearly enough. The theme that links all of these social issues is income inequality. These arguments are based on this book, The Spirit Level, which was written by 2 epidemiologists. The reason that's important is because their argument is that inequality is not just an economic issue, it's actually a physiological issue. In other words, the stress that is put on human bodies from living in an unequal society leads to worse social outcomes across a whole range of areas, from rates of violence to road death rates to HIV rates. One of the things that inequality destroys is trust between human beings. It makes sense if you think about it. If the CEO of your health company is earning $23 million a year, but then denying you coverage when you desperately need it, you're not going to trust them. You're not going to trust in the system. This leads to a massive rise in people believing in things like conspiracy theories, because they have a feeling, probably rightly, that other people are out to get them, out to exploit them, and get more of their resources from them. So this graph shows the relationship between people saying most people can be trusted and income inequality in the US. And as you can see, there is a clear downward trend that as states become more and more economically unequal, the less people trust each other. States like Utah, which are fairly economically equal, have high levels of trust because people feel like they're not being exploited in the way that people feel, for example, in New York or Louisiana, in states that have higher levels of inequality and lower levels of trust. One of the interesting things about inequality is it doesn't just negatively affect people who are poorer, it also affects people who are wealthier. This also makes sense if you think about it. I'm originally from South Africa, and I know obviously the black South Africans who were exploited under apartheid feel a huge amount of stress as they try to chase after the resources that have been kept from them for so long. But rich white South Africans also feel a huge amount of stress, because if you live in a massively unequal society, you're also looking over your shoulder trying to make sure that the person who has less than you is not trying to take it from you. So everybody experiences that stress all along the social spectrum. Now, primates have evolved a mechanism for restoring equality when it has been disrupted. We see this in monkeys. If you give monkeys preferential treatment over other members of their troop, they will get more and more stressed and eventually will become violent to restore order. That's exactly what happened in this case with the murder of the CEO, is that more and more inequality is being piled up in the US healthcare system. CEOs are earning $20 million plus a year, over $100,000 a day, some of them. And people who are struggling feel more and more stressed and therefore are more and more likely to turn to violence to restore the balance. The United States is one of the most unequal countries in the world, and unfortunately technological advancements are accelerating that rate of inequality. So companies like Amazon can now compete with every mom and pop store on every high street in America using the internet, using their technological advantages. As that happens, more and more Americans have to work harder and harder to chase the so-called American dream, and it becomes more and more stressful to do so. As that happens, we see increases in all kinds of social problems. Even teenage pregnancy is associated with income inequality. The murder rate, rates of obesity, rates of depression, school shootings, as more and more stressed young people go into schools to get revenge on people that they feel unequal to. At the same time, big corporations are buying more and more politicians and stopping things like gun reform that most Americans want.